Come on, please work. Please work. Okay. Alright. Awesome. Well, we are up and running. So, bear with me just a second, guys. And then we will get right into today's action. So, first things first, thank you guys for, letting me do, not letting me, but thank you guys for dealing with me doing a little bit later of a stream. Yeah. Thank you for letting me do a little bit later of a stream. It meant a lot to, the family that I was at that, service. So, sorry that tonight had to be a little bit, later, but it is at least happening. So, as you guys know, we are currently working on a hello. So we are. Ooh, where's my cursor? There it is. We are currently working on a social media tycoon. Okay, so we're gonna play the game because it's been 2 weeks. I don't remember where I left off. Um, the reason it's been 2 weeks is I was on vacation last week and wanted to take my last night of vacation with the people that I was down there with. And I'm really glad I did because I have so many memories from that last night of vacation that, let me just say, I learned a lot and I probably will never forget that. So, by the way, I am trying to do stuff. I'm trying to run the game, and Roblox Studio is just frozen. So, bear with me for a minute while I get Roblox Studio to run. I might have to relog. I'm not sure. We'll see, though. So, once again, please bear with me. There it goes. Told you it would only take a minute. So, this is just a thing for me for where did we leave off? Okay. This tells me all I need to know. So, what this tells me is that what I need to do is we have everything put in but the third ladder and the fourth floor conveyor. That tells me everything that I need to know. And why does that tell me everything that I need to know? It tells me everything that I need to know because everything is wired up to a button. And in Tycoons especially, buttons signify the purchase of an object. So the buy fourth floor button here. So, also because of the fact that I was, at a funeral viewing and am starting the stream a bit later, we are probably only going to get through the next floor, I don't think we're going to get into the creating the game passes part. I think that'll be next week's. But yeah. We should still be able to do a lot of stuff today. And I'm really looking forward to sorry, just personal thing. But I am really looking forward to being back in Roblox Studio because for those who don't know, last week I did not live stream. And I've got a good reason. Just don't attack me, but I've got a good reason. And that reason is I was on vacation and I was taking that time to where am I going with this? I was taking that last night of vacation to spend time with the people that stayed in that house with me, and it honestly has been it was the best decision I made. I've loved doing YouTube for the 3 years that I've done it. I've grown so much from it, and I've said this like billions of times at this point. But I've grown so much from running this channel. I've grown in ways that you guys probably can't really imagine. Well, let me put it like this. You could imagine it. But, like, right now, I have collisions on. Okay. Like, right now, I'm currently sitting here live streaming to 0 viewers, but still, nonetheless, live streaming. And it has been such a fun thing to live stream over these past, I don't know, 9 weeks that I've been live streaming. It has been such a fun time, and you can say that like such a fun time or such a fun time. And they mean two very different things, but I'm being legitimate with this because I really have enjoyed live streaming these past. Oh my gosh, I hate it when my computer does this. Object ladder. Dependency floor 2, I think. Well, where's the 2900 one? Hang on. There's by ladder. Where'd it go? Wait, so I'm sorry. I've been talking and not working. I'm so confused. Like, I can't find anywhere that has the by ladder. Oh, that's because it's in. That makes sense. Duh. I can't find it because it's inside of the other button. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So, back to what I was saying. One of the most fun things about live streaming is that I'm a small channel. As you can see, I've only got 44 subscribers. And, you know, that's not a lot. Right. 44 subscribers is not a lot by any means. And One of the best parts about live streaming has been the fact that I get to connect with the viewer as they're watching. I'm a small channel. I can do that easier than, say, a big channel that has 44 million instead of 44, just 44 million. I can do that a lot easier than a big channel can, because when you're live streaming as a big channel, you're sort of live streaming, but at the same time, you're providing content for the fans to watch. You're not doing something and having the fans come in, talk in the chat box, have some fun with it. So when you're like me and you don't... this is going to sound really horrible, but when you're like me and you don't have over 4 viewers constantly, it's nice because the viewers can come in and they can talk in the chat box. They can... and people use the chat in these big streams anyway. I'm not saying that they don't. What I'm saying is that when... what's the best way of putting this? When you're a big streamer, when you're a big internet celebrity or influencer, when you're anyone super famous like that, you know that people enjoy watching your content and enjoy seeing your content. But you also know that you're trying to put content out for people that might not want the content. And you've got rivals. And when you're in a small community like the one that I've been working on building for so long now, for 3 years, for almost 3.5, it's really nice. Because, you know what you can say? When I would do a Random Tycoons live stream, I wouldn't have people trying to join the game, and I wouldn't have, like, millions of people trying to friend me, and it would actually be really nice. And you might say, wouldn't you want that? It depends on what kind of streamer you are. If you're the kind that really enjoys being social and wants people to join your game and wants to do like a big viewer interactive thing, then that's probably your thing. Or someone like me, I'm not a very social creature anyway. I'm totally fine being around people, and I was talking with a bunch of people today, and, like, I'm perfectly fine to be around, but being extremely social is just not my thing. And not everybody has the same thing. And it's okay to not have the same interest as somebody else, because you know what? That's what makes you unique. And I can't guarantee anything, but I can tell you that you probably don't get the same kind of, like, engagement from fans on a big streaming channel as you do in the kind of community that we've got going on with our fans. And mostly with our fans, we have a fantastic community of fans and people that enjoy the channel. And I feel like that is an important thing. Um, and yeah, I have no idea where that monologue went, but it went somewhere, that's for sure. So, the thing that we have to do now is, let's see. Okay, we wired everything up correctly. So now, what we should be able to do is we should be able to take our droppers from the floor below. Bear with me a second. I um need to make sure that I get my floor plan right. Okay. The floor below us should have been Snapchat. Yep. Okay. Bear with me a second. Alright. Sorry, a bunch of my friends are texting me trying to get me to get on various different games. So, okay. Sorry about that. Gotta love having so many friends that they all just wanna do stuff. Let's see. So, alright. So, next thing we need to do is the droppers. Alright. Next thing we need to do for our Tycoon is we need to bring up the droppers. Now, this floor is the Facebook floor, I believe. Yep. Yep, it is. So, what do I mean by the Facebook floor? We're making a social media tycoon. So each floor represents some kind of social media. So this floor is going to be Facebook. Now, I've got a color palettes thing here, so bear with me a second. Facebook. Okay, it's literally just blue and white. This is going to be fun to try to figure out. So, we don't need the buttons tab over here to be up anymore. So now all we need is, let's duplicate this and rename it to, let's see. Oh, hello, viewer. Welcome to the stream. Facebook Dropper 1. Now, when you're dealing with Roblox Studio, the names that's weird. The name of the object that you are hooking up to a button cannot be more than one word. It has to be all one word. It doesn't matter. Well, it sort of does matter. But, oh, hello. It doesn't like multiple words, so you either need to use camel case or you need to have some kind of Ooh, let's see. What is the word that I'm looking for? Oh, there's a word I'm looking for. And it's not coming to the tip of my tongue. So bear with me a second while I try to think of it. You have to some kind of code. That's the word I'm looking for. You have to have some kind of code so that you know how to type your name so that it's consistent throughout your game. So mine happens to be capitalizing every mine just happens to be capitalizing every letter or every first letter of every word. And thank you for subscribing. Whoever did, it means so much. So I think we've done everything that we needed to do. Thank you for subscribing. I think we've done everything that we need to do in the script. Now the next thing to do is these colors. Oh boy. These colors are going to be something else, because decal part. We do need to change the decal. So let's get rid of that decal. Now I'm going to go under my models and change that to my images. Sorry, my throat's drying out. That's better. And we are just going to drop our Facebook logo right onto that slab of stone, or whatever it is. So, now that we've gotten that, we need to change the colors. Yay, colors. Alright. So at this point, the colors can be one of 3 colors. So the whites we're going to keep at white, and the blues we're just going to have be blue, and the black we're going to make... The yellows are going to be blues, and the black is going to be another different shade of blue. I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. So for this, we need 66, 103, and 178. And that is our color code. On desktop notification. Okay. So that's going to be a nice blue. So let's Control C that. And now anything that has a color of yellow becomes so all of the ones that are yellow aha, finally a yellow. That only took forever. Alright. Let's see. Yellow. Make blue. And now I think that might be it. Nope, there's one more. And then all of these, which we can just do like that. That actually doesn't look too bad. I expected that to look a lot worse, if we're being honest. I really expected that to look a lot worse. But no, we are not done. We need to do one more. So the method I'm using for changing colors might not be the best method, and I'm aware of that. But I use the method for changing colors that I use because of the fact that, to be quite honest, it's easier to sift through the parts and change the colors this way than it is to rename every part to the way, not to the way, but rename every part to what needs to be changed and what doesn't. Because it might be a bit more efficient than sifting through, but by the time you're done with it, it takes 10 times longer. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Yes, I agree. The other method is probably a bit more efficient. But this gets the job done a little bit quicker. And you generally want to go for quality over speed. But we just finished it, so not particularly worried about that. So okay, now for the fun part. Duplicating and moving. And duplicating again. And moving again. Rename. Dropper 2. And then all we are doing here is just Control D and rename. Dropper 3. Rename to dropper 4. And then rename to dropper 5. That was easier than it normally is. I don't know why. It just sort of was. So now we need to do the same thing we just did with the droppers, but with the upgraders. So normally tycoons have some kind of upgrader thingy-mabobber that the drops pass through and the value of them gets upgraded a bit. So instead of being worth 5, they're now worth 10. So on and so on. And in the last tycoon that we made, we didn't have that. And it was literally just droppers, droppers, and droppers. And one of the things that was suggested to me was making an upgrader. Well, not making one, but keeping the upgrader in. And that is exactly what I did. So now we just make this Facebook upgrader. Script. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that, because now I know we're in the right one for this. So now all we need to do here is face for Facebook. When you're making names and you're using a long name like Facebook or Snapchat, you want to try to make it sort of abbreviated so that when you're typing out the variable name, you can type it out much, much easier than you can with just, like, than you can with a super long name. And as variable names go, Facebook or Snapchat are relatively short. Believe me, they are. But it is still nice to be able to have a variable name be abbreviated to something like face. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's see, 66103-178. And let me know if that didn't make sense. Because if that didn't make sense, I can elaborate. So now what we can do is, because we've changed the color of the upgrader part itself, we can bring it back. Well, not bring it back, but we can add the Facebook decal onto both sides. Because when you're working with an upgrader, you generally want a decal on sort of what it is and what it, well, not what it is and what it isn't. That's a really, really bad comparison, but there's no rotation for that. Okay. Going on with the general theme of the I can't talk. Going on the general theme of the social media, we can... I haven't saved it all. Going on the general theme of social media, we can now have the Facebook logo on either side of the upgrader, so that not only are we going with the colors of the social media, but we are also going with sort of the theme of a social media tycoon, which is really what you want when you're working with something like this. So now all we need to do is go under upgrader base and change the colors around here. So this now becomes, let's see, this now becomes 66, 103, and 178. So I believe we had the yellows be this, so we are going to do this the exact same way that we did the droppers, which is we are just going to sift through both of these models, go through, and the parts that are white stay white. The parts that are yellow get shifted over to this kind of bluish color. And the parts that are black will shift over to another bluish color. So the goal would be that this looks pretty darn cool when we're done. But we saw the way the droppers look, and that's the way that this is probably going to look. It's probably going to have the exact same color scheme. So, figured that wasn't going to work. These three are all yellow, so we can just do that. Knock them all out at once. Oh, I forgot how much fun streaming was after being off last week. I love doing YouTube, and I love doing the live streams like I've been doing every week. But I have to admit, there was something nice about the entirety of last week that I didn't have to worry about making a video. For those who are new to the channel, I was on vacation at the beach with some of my friends last week. And I pre-recorded some stuff for YouTube, and I will admit that I wasn't thrilled about having to pre-record stuff for the channel. I'm generally not a fan of pre-recording videos. My general view on that is, you can always take a week off. But I thought, you know what? I haven't pre-recorded videos for a vacation in a very long time. Because this was a 1-week vacation. It was like 7 days, 6 nights, something like that. And I'm trying to find the way to describe it. Normally, my dad and I, and even my mom, grandparents, and I, we take a couple day long vacation as a getaway, as like a short little getaway to somewhere. My dad and I generally do 2 to 3 night things. We get down there, well, maybe not down, but we get to wherever we're going earlier in the morning, and we tend to leave later in the night. Bear with me a second, guys. My mom's texting me about dinner. So, So, yeah, for the past couple years, we've been taking a couple small day like not small day, a couple day small vacations. And I will admit that when I'm taking a couple day vacation, I'm not worrying about getting videos up because I know it's a couple days. And generally my video schedule is somewhere around the Friday Sunday thing. And here we go. I think this was the only other really black one I was missing. Oh, nope, one more. Just probably that one. But yeah, what was I going for? Right. My point was that when I'd been taking like 3-day long vacations for a couple of years now, and they're nice, don't get me wrong. They're nice little getaways, you can do more of them. My dad has started traveling for work a little bit more in the past couple years than normal. So I'd generally been going on the front end or the back end of those business trips, and we were able to spend a nice couple of days in the city and be able to do stuff and have a really, really nice time. And it was a couple day vacation. That's all it was. And this vacation I took last week was an entire week, which I haven't done in about a year. The last time I took a week-long vacation was August of 2019 when I went to Las Vegas for a week. And that was an absolute blast. And I've been dying to go back there. I was supposed to go in about 5 days, then we had to push it back to a month from now, and it looks like we're gonna have to cancel it due to all of the COVID stuff. But my point is, back when I was in Vegas, I didn't even have 30 subscribers. I only had like 20-ish subscribers around then. And you're probably asking, what is my point? And my point is that week-long vacations hit different. They have a different mood. You have to try to figure out things to keep what's happening in your normal life going while you're away on vacation. And this was the first vacation I had ever pre-recorded anything on. When I was in New York last year, I didn't have a lot of fans, so it wasn't worth it to me. And again, that was only a 4-day vacation. It wasn't worth it to me at the time to... Let me just check this. Yep, face. Got it. It wasn't worth it to me at the time to go all out and pre-record videos for 4 days. It wasn't worth the time and effort that would take. But now it is. Because now I've got 45 subscribers and I've been talking with 13 of them. So I know there's 13 actual people out there that care if I upload. Now, you may not... Now, all 13 of them may not watch all of the videos, and that's fine. I'm not asking them to. I'm not asking anything of anyone. I'm really not. I really wasn't trying to ask anything of anyone. Just, I pre-recorded stuff for the first time. I had to launch a series pre-recorded. And that is an entirely new experience to me. And you know why? The why there is because I've never had a reason to pre-record. It's always been just my immediate family that... Well, maybe not immediate family, but it's always been my family that takes the time to watch the videos because they support me in what I'm doing, and I appreciate that. But my point still stands of... I never had a specific reason to pre-record videos. And now I do, because now I've got fans that care if I upload. Sorry, I'm typing, that's why I'm not talking. And I found that during these streams, I just get on a roll with what I'm talking about. I don't even try to do it. I just get on a roll with whatever I'm talking about, and I roll with it. And I've got a bit of a different approach to streaming than most streamers do. And I don't know if it's a good thing, so for the viewers watching, please tell me if it's a good thing, because I really want to know. In the end, I'm doing something on the screen, and this is the approach that I've taken to my videos. Is I'm doing something on the screen, and I'm not assuming... When you're giving a presentation, we've been told this in robotics. When you're giving a presentation, you always assume that the audience knows absolutely nothing. You always assume that they know nothing about the topic and are first hearing it for the first time. And we're always told to assume that so that, worst case, you end up explaining something. And worst case, you end up explaining something. It's not the end of the world. Because, you know what? You're taking the time to explain it. You can guess that if the person is judging a robotics presentation, they know a little bit about robotics. But at the same time, you don't know that. So, for all you know, they could have been off the streets, and the competition literally just pulled them in. For all you know. You don't know. They could have a PhD in robotics. They could have a PhD in robotics, or they could not. You never assume that your audience is going to know what you're talking about. And when I'm streaming, I don't look at it that way. When I'm streaming, I look at it as... Whoa, I hate it when it does that. When I'm streaming, I look at all of this as... Okay, the audience might not know what I'm doing, and they might not know anything about what I'm doing. And I don't always assume that people are going to ask about it, because sometimes people don't ask. And for the people who are curious about what I'm doing but don't have the courage to ask, ask. There's going to be no harm that comes out of it. Believe me, I'm not trying to harm anyone. And if you're asking, it means, well, this is going to sound... You could take this one of two ways. If you're asking, it means you don't know much. Or if you're asking, it means you either don't know that much or know something and are just flat out curious. Because it's okay to be curious. There's nothing wrong with being curious. Curiosity is what led to where we are now. Curiosity was me being curious. What happens if I live stream building a game? It doesn't seem like people are going to want to watch me do that on a live stream. But look where we are now. I'm live streaming. I've got 2 viewers. I've had between 2 and 3 viewers almost the entire stream. And I'm enjoying myself. The viewers, I think the viewers are enjoying watching it. And there's been no harm that came out of it. None whatsoever. So this is my message to anyone who's watching that is curious about what I'm doing and doesn't know what I'm doing, but is too afraid to ask. Just ask. I will gladly explain. And other streamers generally talk about the game. They don't really talk about what's going on in their lives, or they don't really go on positive rants like I do. And yes, I'm not like the generic streamer. Well, no streamer is generic. Every streamer is unique in their own way. But I am building a tycoon. Currently, why am I reading out what I typed? That's not how this works. So, just like that. Thank you for asking what I was doing, because I will now take the time and explain. So, what I'm currently doing is, in the previous, 20 to 30 minutes, we had been making objects, and they were objects in the world of our game. And they were just objects in the world. What I'm doing currently is I'm currently wiring in the buttons to make it so that I'm currently wiring in the buttons so that they're not all just objects. and they pop up one after another, and it makes them buyable, if you know what I mean. I know buyable is not the right word, but we're back to 0 viewers. Buyable, super not the right word, by the way. But the entire point of a tycoon is you're buying things and building it from the ground up. And currently, we had the entire tycoon, but we never had the we had the objects that you're buying, but we never had the thing that made it possible for you to buy it. So what I was doing was I was going in and I was changing the dependency to make it so that you can go in and buy the different objects and stuff like that. So hopefully that answers your question. So what I just did there was the dependency of the button. That means, what does it come after? This is currently the physical object. And now this is the price of the object. So I don't exactly know how all of this tycoon stuff works. I'm using a kit that I found online, and it has been super helpful. And if you put me in a generic Roblox Studio world with any kind of not any kind of, but with nothing, and asked me to let's see, what's a good example? And asked me to build a tycoon. I wouldn't be able to because I don't know how to do that, and credit goes to the person who made this kit. Like, it takes some work to make this kit. And I admire him for it. I really do. Because I know that if it was me building this tycoon kit, it wouldn't work. I don't know how to make the different objects come up after one after another. I don't know how to do that. This would be wall 10. Yeah. And then wall 11. Let's see. Sorry, I'm talking out loud again, aren't I? Yep. 280. 3800. Now all we should have to do is duplicate that. Rename it. This one will be 3900. And all we should have to do is just dependency wall 11, object wall 12, price 3900, and then the roof will be 4000, and we're done. So we have now wired everything in. So the last thing that we are going to do for this tycoon, in terms of the building it, then we gotta test it, but that'll take literally 10 minutes. I think the last thing that we have to do is the roof. So in order to do the roof, we are going to go under Essentials, And then there should be floor, and we should be able to duplicate that, rename it as roof. And then, ooh, not what I wanted to do. Down a bit more, maybe. Yep. And then put it under purchases, and now all we should have to do is wire up the button, and we should be good. So now, where's the... Yeah, this works. Let's see. Rename by roof. 4, 1, 2, 3. Haha. So roof is in place. Now all we need to do is dependency wall 12. Object should become roof. And all we need to do is change the price. And there is actually one more thing that we need to do before we can test this. Because if we don't test it, if we don't do what I'm about to do, the testing of the Tycoon will not work. Emphasis on will not. So we really need to do this. So drop value. We are going to duplicate from Snap or any of them and say face, an abbreviation for Facebook. So we're going to make that, drop value of 20. Nice, modest 20. Where's the drop color? Drop color, we're now going to change that from drop color snap to drop color face. Again, abbreviation for Facebook. Because when you're typing out the different variable names, you want to make it as simple as possible. Ooh, look at that. We're up to 4 viewers. That's like an all-time new record. Ooh, yeah, let's make the drop color that. Feel free to use the chat box if you want. Ooh, 5 viewers. This is a new record. I don't know how to do that. Let's see, drop color face we've done. And the last one that we need to do is not that. That was the wrong button. What we need to do is rename to to upgrade value face. And now this is going to go up to 40. So now that that is done, let's save and test this game. Because one of the things that I have learned from doing Roblox Studio and any kind of programming is you always need to constantly save. Because of the fact that, quite simply, if you don't save, the program could crash. And all of your work that you just did, that you spent so long on, is thrown away. Now, I've been seeing the output log, and I can tell you that there is a autosave that has been happening every once in a while. So it will autosave, but it won't necessarily catch all of your mistakes. Or let me put it this way. You don't know when it autosaves. So it will autosave, but it might not autosave where you were just working. So you could have made this big, awesome breakthrough in whatever you're doing, and it wouldn't catch it. And that is why you always have to save. Also, if you're not already subscribed, I do this every Friday night. So well, we had a nice little rush of viewers, and now it's back down to us. So thank you for sticking on the stream. We're not quite at enough money to make the walls, I don't think. Yeah, no, not quite yet. Oh, now we are. 100, 200, 300. Oh, not quite at the 400 mark. So close. Oh, now we're going to have plenty. Do we have enough for the ladder? Oh, apparently we do, because it just bought it for me. 500. Okay. That shouldn't be too bad. But there are so many games out there on Roblox that aren't tested. And you always want to make sure that you test your games. Because if you don't test your games, there could be some kind of issue. There might be some kind of issue with the game that you don't really know about. And if you don't test it, you'll never know. And it could be something relatively simple. It really could be. It really could be something relatively simple. Like, oh, I didn't know that this was happening. Or it could be something much more complicated, like there's an issue with thing X, which is making thing Y impossible, and thing Y needs to make thing Z work. So how does one fix that? So that's why you always test your game after every big change you make, and just after every change in general. You always need to be testing your game. Oh, I see we have a new viewer. Feel free to use the chat box. Get to know me a bit. One of the most famous examples of a not testing mistake was on my robotics team this season. We had not even 3 weeks till our till our competition. And we had a coding team that I was part of it. I didn't do any of the work on it. They did everything from home without any kind of robot or thing with wheels to test on. And let me explain to you why that's a bad idea. When we got back, well, not when we got back, but when it came time to test our autonomous code, they went to test it, and it didn't work. They'd been working on this for like months. Supposedly it was supposed to do image recognition and everything, and nothing worked. So here's our entire team that was counting on them to do this thing that would make our robot win. And we're 3 weeks out of a competition, and the most important part of the competition, we don't have anything. We can't compete in it. Yes, we could physically compete in it, but there are going to be so many other teams out there that are so much better than us at various different things in that autonomous part. Now, luckily, we were able to act quickly and pull something together so that, yes, maybe it wasn't the best autonomous code you've ever seen, but, you know, it's autonomous code, and it'll get us to driver controlled where we could really, really shine. And that's the important thing. And when we were doing that autonomous code, we were testing it every step of the way. Every change we made sure we tested it, so that we knew if something wasn't working, that we could go back and I can't talk again. That we could go back and fix it, so that, yeah, maybe it doesn't work the first time, but you keep testing it, and it works on the third time or the fourth time, and you get to move on to the next component of it. That's part of the reason why developing these games takes me so long, is because I try to test my games before I publish them. And that's the really important thing, is that you care about the people that are going to be using your program or your game. And you test it so that they don't have to go through trying to troubleshoot it for you. Also, if you're not subscribed, I do this every Friday. I develop and live stream every Friday. So if you like developing and you like tuning into people's live streams, then you might want to subscribe, because I do this every Friday. Wrong thing to say, apparently. That's bizarre. I've never seen streaming patterns do that. That's fascinating. Yeah, hang on. I'm trying to answer your question. Can you be more specific with this? I'm doing my best to answer your question, but it's hard to answer. It's a social media tycoon. So it looks like everything works perfectly. The roof is the only thing I'm not sure about. Roof works, so it all works. Do you have any questions about what I'm doing? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really needs to be said. I think we finished building the Tycoon. So I do want to fix one thing, which is this. This right here. I know how to fix it, and it's going to take only a couple of minutes, if that. It'll probably only take like 30 seconds. But what that was is, so let me explain what the issue that caused me to do that was. So the issue is that the words are good. The drops are coming far beyond the range of the part collector. So the goal would be that you've got the fake part collector, which is the thing that actually fits inside of the metal. And then you've got the actual part collector in here. I can even show it and explain it. Decoy. So the decoy is here so that essentially the decoy makes it look normal, and the actual physical part collector, transparency 0. Okay, I thought I did the thing that I needed to do. Extra transparency 1. There we go. So now it is doing what it's meant to do. So now this looks like a totally normal thing, and the part collector, the actual one, is just a little bit bigger than it should be so that it can get all of the parts, so that I can get all of the parts in, or all of the drops from the dropper into the actual cash collection thingy. So, yeah, that is it. It looks like we only have one more episode left in this specific game. So, I'm getting excited. That's another game that we can publish next week. So, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed and you liked the content that you saw, please subscribe. If you think you have a friend that would like to drop in on one of the live streams or would like to rewatch one of these, then feel free to recommend. On that note, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see hopefully all of you, if not